Hello, and welcome to the DeHart House. My name is Alicia. I'm coming to you from West Texas. Yes, it's very sunny today. It's Sunday, January 14th of 2018. 2018, it's a new year. Oh my gosh, okay, it's a new year. Yeah, it's really sunny today. I have my blinds closed as much as possible, and there is still so much light coming in through them. So, yes, I am going to just, glow today. But the knitting should look great from from this spot with that lighting. I was going to record somewhere else, but the knitting didn't look as good. So I'd rather have the socks and things come across on screen better than I do. I don't know what's better. The knitting, right? Yeah. Okay. I thought so. Whatever. Yeah, today's Sunday, no work today, so I'm in my comfies. I'm in one of my sweatshirts from my alma mater, Northern Michigan University, where I got my bachelor's degree in mathematics, and I really miss the snow. I really miss the snow. I know I talked about that before. It's going to get up to, I think, 54 degrees Fahrenheit here today in Texas. Which honestly, I don't mind. I don't mind that it's not cold here. Surprisingly, I don't mind that. But I think part of that is the air is very dry here where I live, and that makes it feel colder. And the dry air just does all kinds of things, awful things to our skin and noses and throats and crazy things. So that's already enough to deal with. I also don't need it to be freezing cold, so whatever. Okay. Yeah, it's Sunday. I'm just gonna keep repeating that. So I'm a little out of it today. I don't know. I don't know why, but I am. So let me start off with getting into the good stuff. So for those of you who don't know, this is my knitting podcast, primarily my knitting podcast. But I do like pretty much every craft out there. You couldn't tell by my room. Yeah. So let's talk about announcements first, then shop update, finished objects, works in progress, and then I want to share with you my bullet journal. It is a new year, and I'm trying out the bullet journal, and I'm really excited about it. And then just ramblings about life at the end. Try not to do it in the middle. Okay, so let's start off with announcements. I have some pretty cool announcements. First one, we had the Kanak Socks knit along last year, November and December of 2017, and the knit along is over, finished. I closed out the thread, and now that I'm finally recording an episode, I'm going to announce the winner. Okay. So for the Kanak Socks knit along, you had to knit a pair of Kanak Socks, and the Kanak Socks pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry designed by me. If you don't already have it, download it. Like I said, it's free. Try it out. Okay, so in the finished objects thread, you had to post a picture or something saying you finished your socks. You just had to knit a pair. I didn't care what size or yarn or anything. Just use the pattern. So I went to random.org and chose a winner randomly, and the winner is... Okay, that's enough suspense. Number 3, post number 3, Bev B 333. Bev B. Yay! Congratulations! You are the winner, and I can't hold this still for some reason. Anyway, Bev B 333. According to Ravelry, your name is Sue, and you live in Australia, which is super cool, by the way. So, Sue, I'm going to send you a message on Ravelry. Either way, whether you see this first or get the message first, doesn't matter. Go to my Etsy shop, which is DeHart House Creations, and look at the designs that I have in the shop, and pick out a sock size bag that you would like from my shop, and I will send that to you for the prize. Yay! So since it was a sock knit along, you get a sock bag, and congratulations! That's so cool. So thank you for everyone who participated and everyone who's downloaded the pattern and tried the pattern, given me feedback. I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to knitting another pair myself, actually. The first pair I knit was intended for me, and then they turned out to be a little bit too big, so I gave them to Michael, which may be something that you experience with the pattern as well. So I'm going to be working on that. So I can't make any promises about when I'll have an update, but I'm looking to update the pattern to help with the sizing, so you can get a smaller size sock out of it. So, yay! Cool! Congratulations, Sue! That's so awesome. So my next announcement is actually to announce a new knit along. So I would like to do a year-long knit along, and it's January, so we'll start it now, right? And you get all year. So I am calling this I guess it's not a knit along, the Cozy Couch Make Along. So it doesn't have to be knit. You could crochet, or, excuse me, or I guess sew. Why not? Why not? Knit, crochet, sew. If you have another craft in mind, message me and ask me. Weaving. Ooh, that'd be fun. Okay, so the Cozy Couch Make Along. So here's the idea. Make a blanket, like an adult size blanket, not a baby blanket. Sorry. Make an adult size blanket, whether it's a twin size, full size, queen size. I don't really care. Just it could cover an adult, okay? And then I would like to see a picture of said blanket on the couch, looking all cozy. There doesn't have to be a person in the picture. But, you know, if you've got your cat curled up in the blanket, that would be pretty cozy. But just a picture of the blanket on the couch, just, you know, looking all cozy. And, you know, every time you finish a blanket, you can put a new post in the finished objects thread. And whips count, because holy cow, blankets are huge. So if you already have one in progress, like, you know, that one over there, it counts. So if you finish it this year and you post a picture of your blanket on the couch, it counts. Okay? If all you have to do is add a border to it to finish it, I really don't care. Whips count. Okay? So, anytime this year, if you finished it on January 1st, it counts. Okay, even though I'm announcing it today. So, it has to have been finished within 2018. Post a picture of the blanket on the couch. For the Cozy Couch Make Along. So whether, like I said, if you've knit it, crochet it, sew it, weave it. Oh my gosh, a cross-stitching blanket? That would be insane. Whatever. If you have questions about other possible crafts for making a blanket, I'll have a chatter thread going, and we can ask questions there so that everyone can see the question, because some people might have the same question. And like I said, I don't care about size, just big enough for an adult, so not a baby blanket. It's just, I want it to be as fair as possible with, I made a humongo blanket versus, 4 baby blankets. So, all right. Yeah, and that's it. I'm going to have it running the whole year. So every time you finish a blanket, you get an entry. And I would like to see either a link to your project page in the finished object thread or the actual picture of the blanket. But either way, I want a picture of the blanket on a couch. Doesn't have to be your couch. That sounds kind of random. Just go to someone's house and put it on their couch and picture. Whatever. If you don't own a couch, we can talk. If you have a chair, I don't know, whatever. We don't have to have it all figured out right away, right? That's what the chatter thread is for. If you have questions, like if you don't have a couch, we'll talk about it, okay? We'll chatter about it in the chatter thread. Not a big deal. Okay, so the idea behind this make-along is that I love making blankets, and I have 2 blankets in the works, and I need some motivation to work on them. So I'm hoping that by hosting this make-along, it will motivate me to keep working on them. Now, I'm not eligible for prizes, but y'all are really motivating and encouraging, and I kind of want to take advantage of that, if you don't mind. So let's help each other, encourage each other. I don't care what pattern you use. Honestly, the more variety, the better, because then I get to see, something else, something new, something different. Of course, I want to make it, but that's cool. All right. So Cozy Couch, make along, look for those threads in the Ravelry group, which is DeHart House Podcast. Ravelry group. I'll have a finished objects thread, which will be reserved just for the, when you finish the blanket, post a picture. And then we'll have the chatter thread where we can talk about questions with the make along, or just, oh my God, I love the blanket I saw in post number 3 or something. Okay? All right. Yay. So that wraps up announcements, which of course is just knit-alongs and such. So let's move into shop update. Okay, so I have a shop on Etsy called DeHart House Creations, where I'm selling handmade bags, and I have some yarn up there, some hand-dyed yarn, and sometimes stitch markers, although I don't have any of those up right now, so that's that. So I have some new bags in the shop, and I've already posted those up in the shop, so they are already up, ready to go. So I put 2 new bags in the shop. One of them is the camera bag, which I showed you guys the fabric last time, but I actually finished the bags. I have not been motivated to sew, and I really need to be better about that. But yeah, so the camera bags. So these are sock size bag, all right? It's got this fake leather looking vinyl on the bottom. So really durable fabric on the bottom. It's water resistant. It gives it nice structure. There's the clear vinyl pocket with a snap closure. It comes with the fake leather vinyl handle. I really want to emphasize this is not real leather, you guys. It's fake, okay? Blue interior, and just this really awesome grayscale camera print fabric on the outside. Super cool. So I'll just pop this out. It's a box bottom bag. So it's been folded on the shelf for a day or so. But yeah, so it pops out, stands up. Really nice. So in the shop, what you can do is choose the type of closure you'd like on your bag. And this is something new that I'm doing, which I think is pretty cool, honestly. You can choose to have snap closure on your bag or a zipper closure. And I get that some people have, different preferences, or maybe you want to try something new. So what I do is make the bag without the closure, and then when you order it, I add the closure on the bag before shipping it to you. And like I said, you can choose between a zipper, okay, or snaps. I have the bag here with the snaps on it. Right, so I'll put 2 snaps on the bag to close it, okay? Cool. And it has these rings on the end, which can either be facing outside the bag or inside the bag. Comes with a little wristlet handle, which you can clip on either side of the bag. You can clip your keys on it, or progress keepers, or whatever you want, okay? So there are a couple of these camera bags, okay? And the print placement, you know, it depends on the fabric, so cool, cool, cool. And then I have one of these. This is I call this Freebird bag. And this is my older style without the leather, so this is a little bit cheaper, okay? So you've got this really cute bird fabric on the outside. The handle's sewn in. It's not removable. Zipper closure already on it, and the yellow interior with that little, almost a floral print, but not really. I think it's cute. Anyway. Yep. So Freebird and camera bags, and more to come. Okay. But for now, those are the new bags in the shop. Okay. So that wraps up shop update. So let's talk about finished objects, shall we? Finished objects? So I did finish one thing already this year. So I was really good last year about trying to clear off my needles at the end of the year. I wanted to have a fresh start to 2018, and I did a pretty good job. I had a few carryover projects, but not a big deal. So I cast these on New Year's Eve, which is technically 2017, but I'm counting it as 2018. Okay, I waited until the evening of New Year's Eve. I feel like when you start something then, it's a 2018 project, so that's my opinion. That's all that matters. I'm not entering these into a knit-along, so my rules, that's all that matters. Okay, so these are Mike's Marled Socks. Yep. So, excuse me. So my first finished object for 2018 is a pair of socks for my fiance. Yeah. And I'm not wearing my ring because it's getting resized, so I'm ringless for a little while, which is fine. Alright, so these are knit. I'll tell you the yarn is Patton's Croy, which is a wonderful, sturdy commercial sock yarn. It is it all wool or is there nylon with it? I can't remember, but I'm telling you, these are really sturdy and I love them. So if you're looking for a good sturdy sock yarn, Patton's Croy is really good. I recommend it. It's not the softest, but I like that. Okay, so Patton's Croy, the color is gray brown marl. And as you can see, I did a little bit of patterning on the sock. Let me just hold one of these. So I'll tell you, I kind of have a new, not kind of, I do. I have a new favorite sock recipe, okay? And my new favorite sock recipe is to work this toe up. I do a Turkish cast on, increase for the toe. For Mike's socks, I increased to 68 stitches. And I knit it magic loop style, so 34 on each half. And then I worked 1 by 1 rib for the patterning. So on the top of the foot and on both sides of the leg here, front and back. I did a 1x1 rib, stockinette for the bottom, fish lips kiss heel, and then, you know, no extra ribbing at the top because the whole thing is ribbing. So I really just got to knit until I wanted to stop, and then did, oh my god, why didn't I look up the name of that? I think it's Lori's bind off, or Lori's stretchy bind off, something like that. Yeah. So I wanted to do ribbing for the patterning so that it's a nice snug fit when he puts them on. And when he tried them on, they were just a touch too long, which I am noticing on the sock blocker. It's just a little bit too big. So I need to pay attention to that these sock blockers are actually a good size for him. And since they're a tiny bit loose on here, they are a tiny bit loose on his foot. But anyway, I did need 2 balls of the yarn, so they come in 50-gram balls. I ended up using 72 grams for the pair. You'll notice I did not do contrasting color. I think I just broke a nail. I did not do a contrasting color for the toes or heels. However, look at that. It was almost the whole heel in this color. And then here's a little bit of the heel. And almost the whole heel in this color, and then there's a little bit of the heel. That was pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, this toe has more color in it. Color changes, but anyway, I just wanted something simple, easy, quick to knit, and it really was. I think I knit these in like a week, which is crazy. Yeah, so Michael has a new pair of socks. Yay! And those are finished. Yeah, oh, and I use US size 1 needles, which is a 2.25 millimeter, which I have a lot of US size 1 needles. I think that's my favorite. It's what I'm most comfortable with for socks. I have zeros. I don't think I have any size 2s. Does anyone use size 2s? Maybe with like a DK or sport weight yarn or something? It doesn't matter. Okay, so that's it for finished objects. I finished a pair of socks for Michael. I wanted to start off the year not selfish. Whatever. Okay, so works in progress. So for works in progress, I'll show you. I have a half-finished object, a hoe, and I have the second one on the needles. Oh, that's the wrong bag. Okay, so this is living in my Woolridge Designs bag with these cute sheep knitting on here, and she has an Etsy shop. And so living in here are a pair of socks for me. Second on the needle, socks for me. I need more cardboard feet for my family. Alright, so I finished one of the socks. I have the second sock on the needles. As you can see, yep, toe up. I did Turkish cast on. Increase to, so since this is for me, I do 64 stitches for me, 68 for Michael. Yep, 64 stitches, and I'm knitting these on size 0. So I figured out that 60 stitches on a size 1 is good for me, or 64 on a 0 is good for me. Yep. So 64, size 0. I just put a progress keeper on there just to give me a little more interest. And as you can see, it is a little thingy of popcorn. Little thingy of popcorn. Yep, I'm good with words. So the yarn is Knit Pick Stroll, and the color is Skating Rink Hand Painted. So it's a red, black, gray, a light blue, yeah, maybe some white, but I think it's just a really light gray. Anyway, Here it is in the ball. It's really fun. So I was going to make a Raina shawl out of this, and I thought the yarn was just a little too busy for that shawl, and I really like it on the socks. So here's the first sock, and it's really cool because it's not striping. It's not like the red goes all the way around or the black goes all the way around, but it's almost striping. I think it looks really cool. So again, no contrasting color for the heel or toe or anything. I just am using the same yarn. So Turkish cast on, toe up, all stockinette, fish lips kiss heel, 20 rounds of 1x1 rib. And look how the yarn did something different up here. It's more like a swirl up here instead of it's like an almost striping. I don't even know what to call that. Almost striping. And then it did a swirl pattern up here. So I'm really curious if the same thing is going to happen on the second sock. I really hope it does because I think that looks cool. Fish lips kiss heel. Did I say that? So the fish lips kiss heel pattern is $1 on Ravelry. It comes with a really big packet of information, and I think only like one page of the 16 pages actually has the pattern. So I have it memorized. It's my go-to heel. I love the way it fits. I have noticed with my socks, especially since the last 2 pair I knit for myself were too big. In fact, I actually washed them and dried them in the dryer to try to shrink them. Which I did shrink them a little bit, but I was really scared. Anyway, so I went down from a size 1 to a 0. All right. And on my cardboard foot, which I use to, try the sock on. So I know how far to knit and whatever. So I am stretching this on my cardboard foot now instead of putting it on there loosely because I like my socks to fit tightly. So I need to fit it tightly on my form. Oh my gosh, I put these on and they're perfect. They are perfect. So yeah, I have my new thing that I need to do. I went down a needle size, kept the stitch count the same, and I'm now like stretching it onto that form instead of leaving it on there loose because that's how I want it to fit on my foot. So, I mean, for those of you out there who might be having fit issues as well, maybe think about that. Do you want your socks to be tight? If so, put it on your thing kind of tight, like you want it to fit. And if you want it to be loose, then, make sure everything's all nice and loose on there. So, anyway. I also don't make my legs very tall on my socks because I have athletic calves. I have big calves. And they just slide down anyway. So I only knit them so tall. In fact, I wouldn't mind them a little bit shorter than this, but anyway. Yep, I like them. So these are my, I'm calling them my skating socks because of the yarn color. It is Skating Rink by Knit Picks, which is a merino nylon blend, the stroll, and I love it. Yep, and I'm knitting the magic loop style on my Chow Goose, and I love it. I love my Chow Goose. I love the cord. Yeah, they're really nice. Okay, what else am I working on, you guys? Let me tell you. So I started I'll put these here with the other socks. I just started today, which I'll just show you this because it's really lame. I just started another pair for Michael. There's my little toe. Yep. Look at that Turkish cast-on thing. They just look like knit stitches. It is so awesome. Okay. This is really cool. I love it. All right. Yeah, so I'm making another pair for Michael. I'm going to use this Cloudborn gray color, Charcoal Heather, and Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering in Forest Park, which is a gray and green. Oh my god, the light is not going to work with me, is it? Yeah. So it's a nice dark green, actually just like my sweatshirt here, with gray in it, mixed in it. It's really cool. Nice manly color. Not gonna happen. Alright, that's fine. Alright. But I should have more progress next time. More than just, like, 5 rounds of a toe. So, yeah, I started those this morning. Talked about the sock. Okay, I have a shawl going. So this is living in my my Dainty Deer bag, which is one of my new styles with the fake leather on it. I just love this deer. It's so adorable. With the pocket and the snap. Okay, and the snap closure, which is super fun. All right, so the shawl is fun. So I watched the Dramatic Knits podcast, which is hosted by Steve and Callie. And Steve is the dyer, one of the dyers behind Leading Men Fiber Arts. And he has this boomerang shawl pattern. He kind of just has a recipe out. I don't think he formally wrote up a pattern for it. So I went to his project page and looked at his boomerang shawls and saw his notes, and I'm just knitting that. So there's no pattern or anything, so if you just go to Steve's, he's Dramatic Knits on Ravelry, and I'm just repeating what he said on his podcast. You go to his project page, look at his boomerang shawl, and he's got notes in there. I think he also has notes on his hats. He knits a lot of hats, and he's got a recipe, and he puts that in there as well. So anyway, I'm knitting the boomerang shawl, and I think it's really fun because there's not much to this pattern. It's a 2-row repeat. And I'm knitting the garter stitch version. He also has a stockinette version. And I love it because the pattern is super simple, which means if you have a busy yarn, it's going to let the busy yarn really shine through. So this is a really nice variegated / speckled yarn. This is Woolen Boon, which I'll show you the tag here in a second. This is Woolen Boon. I think that's funny. Wicked pretty yarn for all. That's gonna focus. I think it's funny. I got this at, I think it was Stitches when they came to Texas, and I actually met Steve from Dramatic Knits. Oh my gosh, how poetic. Anyway, the color is Ambrosia Salad, and this is a fingering weight yarn. There we go. 100% superwash merino. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So there's green and blue and like a peach color and speckles, and it's super fun. It's really fun. And I have a Texas stitch marker on here. Yep. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is cool because you just knit until you want to stop. So I'm pretty excited. I'll just put this on. Boom. Got it. Yeah, so okay, all my balls are turning into cones. And I think it's probably because I'm winding them too tight. I think that's the problem. But I'm doing a center pull, and as you can see, it is a god-awful mess. It's terrible. But yeah. Oh, there you go. Speckles, color. Oh God. It's so pretty. So I wanted to use this yarn with a really simple pattern. Like I said, I want it to be all about the yarn. So I think this is a great pattern for that. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so I started this, I don't know, sometime this week. I need to be better about that. Like, when did I start this? I don't know. I need to write that down. I started a shawl today. Yeah, so the beginning goes fast, right? Because there aren't many stitches on a row. So I will now move this stitch marker up, or progress keeper up, and we'll see how far I am next time. Yeah. This should be fun. Yeah, it's a really nice thing to knit on when watching TV. And we've been watching a lot of TV. All right, my next work in progress. Okay, I have 2 more. Totally went out of order here from my notes, but that's cool. So I have 2 more works in progress. The next one is living in my Mario sweater size bag. So I also make sweater size bags, you guys. And in here is a sweater. Yep, my nephew loves Mario. My sister and I, we played a lot of Mario growing up, so this is near and dear to my heart. Anyway, in here is Michael's sweater, which I started last year, 2017, and did not finish. So, remember, if you're a returning viewer and you remember, I knit the whole body of the sweater. Cool. Knit the first sleeve, and it was too big, so I ripped the whole thing out. And I have now knit that sleeve. Yep. So I have the body finished and 1 sleeve. And I'll tell you, this sleeve, it looks a little janky. Okay, I have all these progress keepers on here to mark my decreases and measurements and things. So I wrote some notes. So I had to modify the pattern a little bit to make it fit Michael better. So I did decrease very drastically because that was the problem, was the sleeve was too big. It had too many stitches. So I decreased very drastically. Then I knit straight for a little bit here. And then I started doing my slower decreases for the forearm, and then knit straight out to the wrist, did some 2x2 ribbing, and bound off. And so now that I have those notes and I have these markers on here, I can now knit the second sleeve without having Michael try it on 25 times. Because I was like, okay, I knit 5 more rows, can you try it on now? I knit 6 more rows, can you try it on now? Yeah. So I just need to put the second sleeve on here, and then I'm finished. I'm so excited. I think I knit this sleeve in like 3 days. Yeah. Okay, I knit other stuff too, but I'm saying like over 3 days we did that. Yeah. Okay. And I had to do it when Michael was home because I had him try it on, like I said, several times. Because we had issues with the sleeve the first time. And I didn't want to have issues again. So I just need to pick up those stitches on the second sleeve and go to town. And I'm super excited. I want to finish this month. I want to finish it. So I'm going to be doing that soon, picking up that sleeve. Yay! Okay. Because when I get rid of that sweater, when I finish that sweater, I can start another one. I'm really excited to start another one. Okay. My next work in progress is actually over here on the couch. A little futon here in my craft room. This is my worsted weight scrap blanket. So this is one of the blankets that I need encouragement on. to finish this year. So, yeah, it's a mitered square blanket, and I'll just move this and bring that over here. So, it's a mitered square blanket. It is knit. It's ginormous and not even halfway finished. Okay, so yeah, mitered squares. There you go. And I'm knitting it out of various worsted weight acrylic yarns. So Red Heart, Karen, Bernat, I don't know, all kinds of brands, right? Mostly your Walmart finds. Some of these yarns I've purchased. Some of them were given to me by family members, so I don't know all of them, but it doesn't matter. Are these all scraps? Heck no. I'm actually pulling them from full skeins over there to make this blanket. I don't care. It's fun. And I actually picked up a couple of new colors. There was a really nice yarn sale at Joann's, which may still be going on. It may be wrapping up today. I don't know. But I picked up this red and this green. The brand is Big Twist, and it's 100% acrylic. But it's not as shiny looking as the Red Heart, which I really like. Something different. And so it's got more of a dull tone to it than a shiny. It's not coming across on the screen, but it is in person. And I really like that. It feels nice. It feels like the others, so it blends in just fine, but yeah, whatever. I went to town at this sale, which I'll talk about later. Anyway, excuse me. So the squares that I'm knitting are 13 stitches by 13 stitches with an extra stitch in the middle. Okay, doing the center decrease. I'm using, like I said, worsted weight yarn, a US size 7 needle, and it's 20 squares across, and the plan is to also have 20 rows, so it should be a 20 by 20 blanket in the end. At least that's my plan. May stop short of that, but I don't care. It's already big enough to cover me once I finish this row. Anyway, yeah, so I put, let me see, I've got my bullet journal to help me. Which again, I'll talk about later. I've added 17 squares to this blanket this year so far. So that's almost a row. Almost a row. Anyway. So I have notes. I have a project page on Ravelry. I have notes on there talking about the center decrease, the number of stitches, etc. So if you're wanting this pattern, you can find it there. I did not come up with it. I cannot take credit for it. I found a free pattern on Ravelry for this blanket. The link seems to be broken, so I copied my notes over into my notes page on Ravelry. So I don't know if she took down her pattern or what. But anyway, yeah, this is really fun. I never thought I would knit a blanket before because holy crap, that's a lot of live stitches. So the fact that this is done in pieces, I really like. I also like that you pick up the stitches on the side. Let's see if I can find, yep. Right, you pick up the stitches here and knit the square right in here. So it's not like I'm knitting the square separately and then sewing it in. And I really like that because I hate sewing the squares in or crocheting them together or something. So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this blanket, and hopefully the make along will just encourage me to keep going with it. What I'm doing is I'm not sewing in the ends every time I knit a square. What I'm doing is keeping the ends on for the row, and then when I finish the row, I'll sew in the ends, and then that way I can be a little more efficient with my time. Just a little bit. Yeah, so I'm almost halfway. I need to put on, I think, 6 more squares. Let me just look here. I feel like I need to blow my nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to put on 6 more squares and I will be halfway done. 6 more squares and it'll be 20 by 10. So halfway. I'm really excited. Okay. So that wraps up works in progress. And I'm going to pause for a second to blow my nose. Okay. Wow, that light. So if you know me in real life, I blow my nose really loudly. So I have allergies, and I started seeing an allergist, I think, when I was 4 or 5 years old. And I don't know why, but I blow my nose really loudly. So definitely cutting that out and not sharing it with you. Oh my gosh. So, okay, so I just want to share with you guys really quick a little bit about my bullet journal, and I'll start with the knitting things that are in my bullet journal, and then I'll kind of segue into life stuff. So, if you're just here for the knitting stuff, I'll talk about that first. And if you don't really care about my life stuff, that's cool. I don't care. All right. So knitting stuff. So I have my bullet journal, which I ordered on Amazon. I tried really hard to get one in the store. I went to Walmart. I went to Target. Couldn't find it. Said, F it, I'm going to Amazon. And I got a 2-pack of bullet journals. And I'm thinking one will probably be enough for the year. So I think I have my bullet journal for next year already. So that's cool because I can set it up whenever I feel like. So I'll just, okay, so in the beginning I've got the month of January. So I'm going to go to the back, because in the back of the journal I'm putting special pages. And one of the pages, which is super fun, I have socks. All right. So I have 12 socks on here. So, no, 16. I have 16. So 4 per row, 4 rows, 16. Okay. So these are, one sock is representing a pair. So since I finished a pair for Michael, all right, let's just grab this one. So since I finished the pair, what I'm going to do is color that first sock in to look like this sock, because the pair is finished. Now when I finish my socks, the skating socks, I'm going to color that one in to look like that sock. All right. So I would love to knit 16 pairs of socks this year. And I have a little sticky note saying sweaters to knit, and I didn't draw them in here because I'm wondering if I'm going to knit more than 16 socks this year, and I might have to go to the next page. I don't know. But yeah, so I saw this on Instagram last year where someone did this with their socks. They drew out 12 socks, like for the box of socks knit along that Yarngasm usually hosts on her podcast. And then they'd color them in as they knit them. And I just think that's super cool. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll probably make little notes next to them too, like who they were for, like for Michael or for me or for Mom or Mom-in-law or whoever. So yeah, that's going to be really cool. I'd like to have a sweaters page that's really similar. I just have to figure out how to draw freaking sweaters on here. So the socks took me a while. But look, I actually used the bullets on here, so I'll just zoom in there. So if anyone wants to do this in their bullet journal, that's how I drew my socks, okay? I use the dots to help me because that's the whole point. And I changed the direction because it got kind of boring. I wanted it to be more fun. But yeah, you could do them by pairs if you wanted. If you have second sock syndrome, maybe you should do them by pairs. So you can color in that you did the first one, and then don't leave that blank. You got to color in that second one. I don't have second sock syndrome. I don't have a problem with it, but some people do. So maybe that would be a motivator. But I'm not coloring it in until I finish the pair. And I'm going to do that later. So last Christmas, 2016, my mom gave me a thing of colored pencils. And I love this says Merry Christmas on it and the trees and stuff. So there's a whole bunch of colored pencils in here. Like so many. So I'm set for coloring these in. Which is really cool. She gave me the pencils with, and I got the book out, with this coloring book. Okay, you know those fancy coloring books for adults? This is one of those. Okay, I'm a math person, you guys. I have a master's degree in mathematics, and I teach math at the college here in town. Oh my gosh, she got me this coloring book. And it's so cool. The golden ratio, it even teaches you about this stuff. Okay, this is really cool. If I ever teach geometry, oh my gosh, you guys, platonic solids. Like what? All right. Anyway, yeah. So I've colored just a tiny bit in here. What is the golden ratio? And it tells you. Anyway, it's super fun. Thank you, Mom. I haven't colored in it much, but just the thought behind it is really, really cool. A math coloring book. Yeah, so I have my sock page. I have all the colored pencils I could ever want to fill that in. I'll just show you some of the other special pages I have in mind. Birthday gifts. So I saw this picture on, it was either Pinterest or Instagram, of someone drew in a bunch of presents, and in the presents you write, you know, like on the tag for the present you write the name, and then in the present you write what you gave them or you're going to give them, so you can keep track of birthday gifts throughout the year. And I want to do the same thing I especially want to do this for Christmas gifts. You can see I use Post-its to help me lay this out. To plan for Christmas. So I'm going to draw like a Christmas tree and then all the presents underneath. And so I know what I'm going to give everyone, and I can plan that throughout the year. I also want a page for books to read. My goal this year is to read 4 books. Last year my goal was 3. I didn't. I'm going to have a tiny bookshelf on here with 4 books on it, but I don't really care. And then I want something for cleaning. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, so those are my special pages. They're at the back because I have no idea how many pages I'm going to use throughout the year. I also need something. I think I'm going to do it at the end of the month. A running log of some kind. So, yeah, so, excuse me, kind of segueing into life stuff, but a little bit more knitting. So my first couple pages, okay, I had so much fun with this. So we've got keeping track of the days. So at first glance, I can see any special events, like on the 16th, classes start, right? And then on this page, I have my habit tracker. Guess what I do every day, you guys? I knit. I also have been really good about eating a vegan meal. And I had a vegan breakfast, so I can go ahead and fill that at square in for today. But yeah, I have not been so good at sewing. Look at that, only 2 days have I sewn. I suck. GW2 Dailies, that's the video game that Michael and I play. It's called Guild Wars 2. And there are daily missions to do every day, and you get currency for doing them, so whatever. Anyway, yeah, I have knit every day. That is not hard to do. my goal for January was to eat at least one vegan meal every day. Easy. That has been a piece of cake, actually. So I'm going to have to ramp up that goal for February, which is actually, that's what I want. So it's nice to keep track of that, to actually see a visual for that. Anyway, so then week by week, what I'm doing, okay, so first of all, I laid out the whole month of January and thought, well, I won't do any more because what if I hate this layout? And turns out, yeah, I kind of need a little bit more room for certain things. Okay, so, all right. So for knitting stuff, I've got this space at the end of the week. So I've got, the weekdays and then the weekend over here. And then I've got this extra space here for, I don't know what I wanted to put here. I just needed extra space. So I'm keeping track of my squares that I'm putting in my mitered square blanket week by week. So my goal is to do 4 squares a week. And you can see that first week I did 13 because I was still on vacation and I had time, so I did 13 squares. Okay. I'm also keeping track of how much water I'm drinking, so I'm filling in these squares here. The goal is, 64 ounces. So every 8 ounces I get to fill in a square. Okay. And then I'm keeping track of my meals. And then I was putting these little stickers here next to my vegan meals. But I'm finding the stickers to be, I don't know, a little finicky. So I've stopped doing that. But you can see I forgot to keep track of my meals on this day. Apparently I drank no water. Or I forgot how much I drink. Anyway. This week has also been pretty bad about keeping track of my food and water. But I did knit my 4 squares. Whatever. So I'm just, coloring in my squares as I knit them. So I start out with 4, and the goal is to fill in all 4 squares by the end of the week. And if I knit more, then I'll add more on. So, yeah, 4 squares a week will get me really close to finishing that blanket by the end of the year. Now, if I knit more than 4, that's better. So that's bare minimum knit 4 squares to finish that puppy. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm really liking the bullet journal thing. One thing I'd like to change about the layout I'm using is I need more space to write in my food. I need more space to write in my food. That is something I want to keep track of. I'm wanting to be healthier and get in shape. And the fact that I have to just squish, like up here, I've got salad and red beans and rice. And it was a challenge to fit that in there. So, whatever. All right. So I'm liking the bullet journal. It's a good size to carry around with me in my purse. I just take a couple, either the black marker or a couple colors. I'm using Sharpies, the fine point Sharpies. And if I lay out the whole month ahead of time, then I can plan for next week and stuff like that. I'm thinking on this page of putting in a running log and just every month having a running log. So I can see in January, I ran this many miles. In February, I ran this many miles. And then at the end of the year, add all of that up. I think having one gigantic log is just going to be confusing and hard to see trends. So it's kind of the point, is I want to keep track of trends. So, yeah. All right, what else did I have? I think that's it, you guys. I'm getting tired. Oh my gosh. All right, so maybe I'm a little more sick than I thought. Maybe maybe. I haven't been working out though, because honestly, I had a little bit of chest congestion and I really didn't want to push myself over the edge. But I've been doing really well with my walking, my yoga, and my running. So what I'm doing is walking on the treadmill, getting all warmed up while knitting a sock, of course. How do you think I finished Michael's socks so fast? So I'll knit while walking. When my hands get too sweaty to keep knitting, then I know I'm all warmed up and ready to go for running. Hey, it works for me, you guys. So then I run a little bit. So I started at a quarter of a mile, and I ran a quarter of a mile, like 4 or 5 times. And then said, you know what, I think I'm ready to push it up a little bit. So I went up to 0.3 miles, 0.35, 0.4, and I think that last time I ran 0.45. So part of my problem last year with my injuries was that when coming back from a long break of running, I'd increase my mileage too quickly. So am I being overly cautious? Maybe. But I really don't want to be out because of an injury. Being out like being out a week because I'm sick is so much better than being out a month because my hip is on fire. So, yeah. So probably after this cold clears up, I'll probably drop my mileage back down again to 0.25 and then start working up again. I don't want to injure myself. I'm not a young 20-year-old person anymore, so I need to be careful, and that's that. It is what it is. But guess what, guys? I've lost 1 pound this year. It doesn't matter. Actually, one of my I feel like 2018 for me is about changing my perspective, which I'm really liking. Is I'm not focusing on losing the weight. I'm focusing on being healthy, and hopefully as a parallel to that, I'll lose weight in the process. So I am weighing myself. I am keeping track of that, but I'm not letting it bother me, which is an amazing feeling. If you get on that scale and see the number hasn't changed, it's exactly the same. It's been the same for days. It's not moving. I'm not letting that bother me. Or even when I gain a little bit of weight from day to day, I'm not letting it bother me. And I can honestly say this is the first time in my life I've not let it bother me. And it's such a freeing feeling that I don't feel like the scale controls my life. And I'm hoping that that positive energy will only help my weight loss. You know, when I get stressed, it negatively affects my weight loss goals. So I'm not letting it bother me, and it's amazing. It's so amazing. I'm not saying it was easy to get here. I am in a stable, healthy relationship. I have an outlet for stress. You know, I mean, I have a wonderful job that I love, and just having that whole atmosphere to my life has helped me, and it's so much more than just a weight loss thing. So, I mean, if any of you have goals for getting healthy and weight loss, are in the swing of it or trying to, just, it's so much more than that. It really is, your whole life affects it. So it's not an easy thing. From my experience, it hasn't been an easy thing. And I'm looking forward to playing the long game, that it isn't about losing weight fast. It's about so much more than that. So I just keep reminding myself that I'm playing the long game. It's, years of this changing habits and changing my lifestyle. And in the process, I will lose the weight and become more fit and be able to do more things. And that's the point for me. So I'm going to stop talking now and stop rambling. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Thanks for watching. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy knitting, happy running, happy reading, happy life. I'll see you guys again in a week or so. Bye.